You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about the New Orleans Saints because last night, if you are a Saints fan, and we'll get to some of that reaction because it poured in over various reasons, whether it's Derek Carr's play or Alvin Kamara's play usage and the play calls they were giving him, there is a world where, you know, a lot of fans believed, including, look, I'm not a fan of the Saints, but I thought they would win that NFC South. Okay, and I knew it was going to be tight between them and the Buccaneers, and it is. It is. But clearly, the Buccaneers are probably going to win that division at this point, and when it comes to making the playoffs for one of those teams, last night was a game you absolutely did not want to lose, okay? You did not want to lose, and in fact, since I've got this brought up, you see where the Saints sit. They're at number 9. And there is a new feature on here, Next Gen Stats. It shows me the playoff probability percentage. You can't see it because of the way the screen's lined out. But the playoff probability percentage for the Saints now at 7-8 is 22%. Okay? They're basically out of this thing. Now, there's a world where they can still get in. But the Buccaneers, they have, I believe this game is in Tampa. And if they win, they've got an 86% chance of making the playoffs. So it's going to become very, very close to being a lock. And Derek Carr continues to be who we thought he was, right? I think we've all believed that Derek Carr was a 15 to 23 quarterback in the NFL. This is PFF. And they have him ranked exactly at 19. There he is right there. But I will say this, a lot of people are dragging Derek Carr and this and that and the other, and I think he's one of these quarterbacks that with the right offensive mind, with the right offensive coach, you can win a lot of games, okay? And I think the Saints are a perfect example of how badly you miss Sean Payton, all right? One of those kind of coaches, Sean Payton, Andy Reid, Sean McVay, Mike McDaniel. You know, I mean, we got to realize the Dolphins were about to get rid of Tua, and they thought he was at least a lot of people thought he was a borderline bust. Tua's going to be in the top 10 in MVP conversation this year. He was leading the conversation last year when the concussions happened. But clearly, he's going to be the Dolphins quarterback as long as McDaniel is around for the next decade. All right? Coming into this season, Sean Payton wondered whether or not he was going to have to start Jarrett Stidham instead of Russell Wilson. That was reality. That's why Sean Payton signed Jarrett Stidham and gave him a lot of money. Because Russell Wilson was that bad last year. He was horrible. And you're looking at this screen, PFF, that's number 15 in the league now. And Russell's numbers... And I understand they lost this past week, but the Broncos were a dumpster fire last year. An absolute dumpster fire. And I guess this isn't going to load for me now, but there it is right there. Okay, let's pull this up and look at Russell Wilson. Look at that. He's 18th in the league in passing yards, but he's tied for 8th in touchdowns. He's got 24. By the way, these numbers, Baker Mayfield's having a better year. Baker Mayfield's having a really good year. Really good year for the Buccaneers. Point is, you can win with Derek Carr. But Dennis Allen's not going to cut it, guys. He's not the guy. He never was the guy. He wasn't the guy with the Raiders. You know? It just wasn't going to be the guy. Everybody's freaking out. You got a $40 million commitment to Derek Carr. You've got to get Derek Carr with an offensive-minded head coach. It's clear you're going nowhere with Dennis Allen. All right? Nowhere. Last year at this time, the Raiders benched and sent home quarterback Derek Carr in order to avoid owing him $40 million fully guaranteed. This year, the Saints don't have that luxury. Well, I'm going to tell you, I cover the Raiders a lot. And a lot of Raiders fans thought that was a bad move. And it was Josh McDaniels' choice, okay? And look at how that's turned out. I mean, they're already on the hook for $40 million as a practical matter. Carr's contract pays out $30 million in 2024, all of which is fully guaranteed. Another $10 million due to 2025 becomes fully guaranteed in March 2024. The Saints can avoid an extra $10 million only by cutting Carr before the payment vests. The point I'm getting to is when Sean Payton was the head coach, you had playmakers everywhere. Alvin Kamara was a threat, was a Christian McCaffrey kind of threat. Saints fans know it. Saints fans know it right now. Alvin Kamara's Saints disappoint fans after costly loss in NFL playoff picture. It's because of Dennis Allen and the lack of offensive prowess in play calling and scheming. You played a guy last night? Look at what he's done with Matthew Stafford. That's a perfect example. Won the Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford. And there were people that didn't think Matthew Stafford was worth a crap and needed to be like a backup quarterback. All those narratives were out there. And this is not that I'm this big Derek Carr fan, because I'm really not. But this is more about concentration on the head coach. And this guy's not the guy. All right? Whether Derek Carr's the guy or not, that remains to be seen. But Dennis Allen is clearly not the guy. Alvin Kamara has 9 carries for 19 yards. This play calling is actually criminal. No doubt. Alvin Kamara, got to get out of New Orleans, man. Like this tweet if you're looking up Alvin Kamara to make sure he's alive. Yeah, I mean, that's how bad it is. Saints have an elite pass-catching running back in Kamara, so what's the plan tonight? Run him up the middle for 0 to 2 yards? Solid. Once upon a time, Alvin Kamara was just as good as Christian McCaffrey. I think environment change is needed for Kamara. I mean, he's getting older. And Derek Carr, would anybody love, because when he was with Gruden, he was showing people something, right? He was showing people something, and I understand Gruden's lurking there, but it's clear this team misses the fingerprints of somebody of Sean Payton's ilk, and that's the point. A guy that knew that Drew Brees could no longer throw the ball longer than 25 yards and then got 5 more years of very good football out of Drew Brees and made the playoffs. That's what an offensive-minded head coach, a good one, can do for a team. No quarterback is better, and this is Warren Sharp, he's a good follow. No quarterback is better to driving just outside field goal range to set up a perfect punt and pin or a failed 4th and short like Derek Carr. Not fully sure Derek Carr understands if you don't convert on 4th down, you lose the ball. This is the comment that caught my eye. I've never seen a quarterback and receivers look at each other like, what are you doing? No, what are you doing? As much as Derek Carr in this Saints group, it looks like they've never practiced together. Well, whose fault is that? That's on Dennis Allen. It's on Dennis Allen. They had 339 yards last night. Saints issues on offense deeper than quarterback. This is a coaching and talent issue. I think it's more of a coaching issue. Asking for competence from the Saints offense is just too much. Just feels like the Saints offense is stuck in a time warp. They are light years away from the top modern NFL offenses we see every week. Do we really believe, and I don't know if there's any better example I could pull out of my ass right now than Baker Mayfield showing up 4 days before a game, I think it was, for the Rams, and then going out and winning a game because of Sean McVay and being able to offensively scheme something together. And you're seeing that with the Rams. They've created a superstar with Puka Nacua. They've got 2 Cooper Kupps now. Think about that. And a lot of that has got to do with offensive scheme. Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy's going to be the MVP. And I'm not one of these people that believes that just because you play in a great offensive system, you shouldn't win the award. I think both go hand in hand. I do. I mean, Brian Daboll, who's a really good offensive mind, has got Tommy DeVito flashing right now. It's an issue. The Saints' issue is their offensive scheming and their offensive play calling. And that person saying they're stuck in a time warp, or the receivers and Derek Carr are standing around looking at each other. That's an offense that is not schemed up. Andy Reid, if Andy Reid got a hold of Alex Smith and went to the playoffs every year? Alex Smith. Jim Harbaugh, another good offensive mind, got Alex Smith, went to the NFC Championship game. Are we going to act like Derek Carr's not better than Alex Smith? I mean, a good/great offensive mind is everything these days. I'm not, and you know, you can see it in New England right now. I mean, they don't have a lot of talent. My God, if New England had this talent and an offensive-minded head coach, I mean, look at Bobby Slowick. Houston Texans has taken C.J. Stroud and made him have arguably the greatest rookie season in the history of the NFL. And he came directly off the branch of the Kyle Shanahan tree. It all makes a difference, folks. It does. And I think Dennis Allen with the Raiders proved a lot. That maybe once again, we talk about coordinators on this team a lot. Some guys, great coordinators. Dennis Allen's a good coordinator. All right? I don't think he's a great coordinator, but I think he's a good coordinator. Good coordinators do not always make great head coaches. But I think if they're offensive-minded coordinators in this day and time, coming off the right offensive tree, I think they make a bunch of difference. They do, because the guys can draw it up in the dirt, and they're sitting in Burger King like Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid eating nuggies, and they're looking at napkins with a pen, drawing up some crazy-looking crap. That's the mind you got to deal with now. This Saints team, one of the reasons I thought they'd win 10, 11 games, they've got weapons. But they've got nobody scheming up the weapons. I mean, I'm telling you right now, Kyle Shanahan could get a hold of Derek Carr in this team and win 12 games. Win 12 games. Andy Reid, he would win 11, 12, 13 games with this same talent. I don't know. You can tell Saints fans are in hell. Derek Carr's there another year. I mean, you're going to run it back with the same coach again, because I wouldn't. Not a chance. Tell me what you think. Hell, hire John Gruden. I mean, he's an older offensive system, and I get all that, but hire him. Bring him in. Do something. Bring him in as the offensive coordinator. I don't know. It's you got to get your head out of the 1994 playbook. You know? Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.